for Sean Mackey to strike! It's Calvin Miller against McGlynn. Miller sends it in! It's Miller time, baby! Champions again! Falkirk have broken through the glass ceiling! After 15 years in the wilderness, Falkirk Football Club is once again a Premiership club!
This is Falkirk Daft.
With Behind the Wall, we're navy blue, are you?
So I wonder if John McGlynn sat down last night with a nice chianti and some lava beans and went because he silenced the lambs as the Dons were once again put to the sword by the Bairns of Falkirk. Hello, welcome to Falkirk Daft, your unofficial Falkirk FC podcast. I am John McNally, as ever, joined by the Ginger God Pod himself. It is Ross Wayne, everyone.
Good evening, sir. Yes, it's been a really, really good weekend for Falkirk fans. And Happy New Year, obviously, to everyone as well.
Oh yeah, sorry, I should have really started off the podcast as Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone.
But no, it's been a good weekend, and it's just a shame well, I was going to say not everyone, because there's a lot of people work through the festive period, but for an awful lot of people going back to work tomorrow.
Have you got that whole, like, going back to school kind of vibe in your house? Because it just feels that way, you know. It feels alien to me not to have a drink in my hand at this point.
Yeah, because you need to watch yourself tomorrow, don't you? So I know that's the thing. I did think about it actually. I was thinking to have one last
beer, one last maybe.
I've not bothered. Oh, but yeah. I'm sure Richard will when he comes on as guest.
No, he's doing dry January. Our guest pundit this week, Richard Lindsay, who's been on the podcast before. Yeah, he's doing a dry January, so he wasn't even drinking yesterday. And you weren't either, Ross. We were in the 1876 lounge, and you were. My car died. I mean, this is just what you need. It's got basically, I need to get my car through another 5 months. It's a 10-year-old Kia Ceed. Basically, it's got to get through to May because then we are moving into city centre. My work's moving into city centre and stuff like that. But like, I've got to get it through basically till then, so I can. Basically, and then just give it up. But it decided to die today with 160,000 miles on the clock. I'm pushing start, but I think it's something to do with the cold. Like, I'm not a great car guy. I tried to jump start. I went for a Hail Mary and tried to jump start it, but it didn't work. So any advice, please put it in the comments below. But I think it might be a spark plug change, but we'll wait and see. Ross, luckily your brother-in-law is a mechanic and a very good one at that. Shout out to Gary. If you're ever looking for anything sorted with your car around the Falkirk area, Gary is your man. So I'm going to message him tomorrow to see if he can come around to the house and resurrect the thing. I only need to get it through 5 months. It's MOT's up in May, and then we can say goodbye to the lovely. It served us well. So, but fingers crossed they can get it through to me.
So yeah, so I came and picked you up yesterday, didn't I? So
you didn't drink
you had a couple of beers.
That was the whole point to that story. But so yeah, fingers crossed and get that to the new year. But it was good in 1876 lounge. If you haven't been before, but you know, feel free to pop in. It's a good laugh. A couple of dandies in there yesterday as well. We bumped into Sheepy, who's done the Aberdeen podcast for us previously. Bumped into him. He was in with Karen, who's contributed to the podcast as well, in the Brockville lounge yesterday as well. But it was good in the old 1876 lounge yesterday. Crawford Bapty was here, and it's always a pleasure to speak to Croft himself.
He was lovely, as always. Good stories, and as you pointed out to him yesterday, he was looking a bit like a Bond villain yesterday with his turtleneck on, didn't he? So
we polo neck job. It was nice.
But no, he was a great lad. And then after the game, it was brilliant to catch up with Barney and Connor Allen, and they had some good chat. Obviously, Barney delighted to be back, and we give him a little bit of stick about being disinfected, etc. But listen, he was up for everything as always, and he's such a nice lad.
Yeah, we'll talk about Barney's performance in just a bit when we talk about the match against Aberdeen. But let's first of all trip into birthday corner, shall we? And say happy birthday to Helen Henderson, aka Mr. Crunchy Carrots himself, Scott Henderson's ma. Our birthday is today, which is the Sunday we're recording this, so happy birthday, Helen. I'm sure Alan's spoiled you as well.
I'm sure he will have. Also, happy birthday to the legend that is Scott Steele.
Oh, happy birthday, Steele.
His birthday is this week. It's on the 8th, which I think is Thursday. And so, yeah, massive happy birthday to Scotty. Bit of a Falkirk legend. And I'd be shocked if there's not too many Falkirk fans who don't know who Scott is.
Yeah, happy birthday as well to Paul Cruikshanks, who is, we've not got the age, but he's turning whatever age this Friday.
21 again.
21 again. I always say that.
Shout out to Paul as well, though, because he does a good turn for us, doesn't he, with the T4 travel buses to away games. Paul is such a good guy, and he always. And if you are looking for minibus, he's not sponsored the episode, but a shout out to him. If you are looking for a minibus to Falkirk games, get in touch with T4 travel.
And if you do want to sponsor the episode, Paul, we're open to offers as well.
Absolutely.
So T4 travel, yeah, give us a shout. Players' birthdays this week. Mark McGraw, who was actually meant to be joining us. If you don't remember, Mark McGraw is part of the '97 Cup final squad. We signed him from Hibs. It was all right. I'd never thought much of him as a striker, but
I'm not sure you can label him all right.
Nah, maybe not. But he's 55 on Monday, so happy birthday. Michael Ruth, who was obviously on loan for us. He can't just be 24, surely, Michael Ruth.
We got him very young.
Wow. Listen, he did a turn. I think, where is he now? Is it Queen's Park now, I think? I think he's injured this season, but he certainly did a turn for Dumbarton for a good couple of seasons.
He did, yeah, and he has scored goals where he's went, so fair play to him. Fair play to him.
His birthday on the 8th, on the 9th, Denny Johnston, remember him? God, he's only 31, Jesus. There you go. Conceived in Denny, obviously, as well.
You would assume so.
You would assume so, that's why you call yourself Denny. But Denny Johnston, 31, I wonder if he's still kicking a ball. And Calvin Miller, our one and only, had a great game yesterday, actually, celebrating his birthday. So he's 28 on the 9th as well. And another current squad member, Connor Allen, turns 22. Does that mean he's ineligible for Scotland under 21s, or can he still get a kick of the ball there?
Oh, you would assume it would put him out of the under 21s, but
maybe there's a cut off. There's maybe a cut off year for him, but he was in the wedge plunge yesterday. We could have asked him that as well. Murray Wallace, 33. Where's Murray playing these days? It was at Huddersfield.
Was he? I think he was Millwall the last I saw. But it's weird to think he's 33 because it doesn't feel that long ago that he was just a teenager.
What a player he was as well.
Murray Wallace. Yeah.
I think it was like whispers, like a couple of people just kind of speculating it'd be good to have him back this season. But I think he's had a lot of injury problems. I think Murray as well. But great centre half when he was with us as well, and not such a great player. Marcus Haber, January the 11th, turns 37. He was like scoring goals for fun in the Indonesian league or something like that the last time I checked. I don't know why I was googling Marcus Haber, but I'm sure it was like some mad Indonesian league. And was
he not like record goal scorer in that league for a period of time? I think he was, yeah.
I know. So there you go. Happy birthday to all the listeners and all the players, former and present, this week. Bit of club news. Let's go through that. St Mirren Hearts away tickets on sale now at the club shop only. And me and you, Ross, have talked about this. It's paper tickets. Come on, boys and girls. It's 2025. Why are we still dealing in paper tickets?
I completely agree. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's nice, see, if you're going to like a cup final or something.
Yes,
I like it as a memento. I get that, right? But see, for run-of-the-mill games, I think it's bonkers that we're still having to go and queue up at the stadium or wherever to go and get a paper ticket. So yeah, unfortunately for both of these games. And the mad one is with Hearts is they've given us like 3,500 seats. And the other, sorry, just to rant again, both of these clubs sell their home fans tickets electronically. So why not just let them? Oh, God.
There'll be a reason. There'll be a reason behind it as well. The allocation for St Mirren, I didn't check the allocation for that, Ross. Is it about 1,900?
It's about 1,400, I think.
Right. Okay.
The away end holds. So I think though, based on the last couple of away games, that those will sell out.
I've never been to St Mirren Stadium, never been to Smizer before because I was down south when they just moved into it. So I've never actually been to the Smizer. So I'm looking forward to the trip to there on Saturday. So that should be a good one. And then I probably am going to miss Hearts, but yeah, it's just that nightmare 8 o'clock on a Saturday kickoff time. But yeah, it's so tickets still available for them both games. I think St Mirren might be near sellout now for away.
I would be shocked if it doesn't sell out,
Yeah,
St. We will comfortably take 1,400 through to Paisley. Yep.
100%, 100%. Liam Henderson was a player of the month for December. I mean, Hendo. If you're ever struggling for picking out a player or man of the match, Hendo is just it because he's so consistent. Arguably, there's been a lot of standouts this season. You look through the side, Scott Bain, Connor Allen's been excellent. Dylan Tate's been really good. Calvin Miller. There's been a lot of standouts in the side, but Liam Henderson. It'll take a long way for me, for my thinking, to beat Liam Henderson again for Player of the Year because he's just so consistent. He's always a 7.
He has been, or 7 or higher, really.
Yeah.
We were obviously chatting to Hendo's dad, with Hendo Senior, yesterday in the lounge. He was passing through. I'm not sure where he had been or where he was going. He wasn't actually in our lounge, but he was going to or from somewhere, and he was having a bit of a catch up with us as well. He's obviously, as he said, listen, Liam had unfinished business with Falkirk, and that was a huge part of the reason for signing for Joe McGlynn. And let's remember, he was Joe McGlynn's first signing as a Falkirk manager. But a huge piece of that, apart from working with the gaffer, was if he did feel as if he had unfinished business at Falkirk. And do you know what? He is more than made his mark now as a Falkirk player. Massive.
I think in years to come, when you're picking your Falkirk 11, Hendo's got to come into the conversation for those centre half positions. Even in midfield, when you think in League One, he was playing most of that season in midfield. But when you talk about centre half, he's just so composed. And like some of the, yesterday, getting forward, I think it was in the first 5 minutes, nicking the ball, getting into the box, and unlucky with his header and stuff like that. He's just been such an important player, and I am amazed and surprised when you're hearing rumours about Luke Graham getting talked about for Aberdeen as a potential sign. I am amazed. Listen, I'm quite happy there's not been speculation about Hendo's future, but you're surprised that there's not a Hibs or a Hearts or an Aberdeen look at Liam Henderson and what he does.
Absolutely. Let's hope for our sake that they don't come calling. But listen, we are no longer an easy target for selling players on. It will take money for someone to be prized from us, especially if they're under contract for a reasonable length of time.
I think Hendo's got because he just got re-signed a deal in the summer, didn't he? So he's got another 2 years to do.
I think so, pretty certainly. Either that or it was partway through last season.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think he's tied up, which is great. Listen, Falkirk, as everyone has a price.
Of course.
But I really want Hendo to be a part of our team for the foreseeable future.
No, absolutely. And he took the captain's armband when Brad went off against Dundee as well. So it's great. That was great to see as well. So well done to Liam and his player of the month for December. One centre half we're talking about there, another centre half on his way out. John McGlynn confirmed yesterday in a kind of interview that Ryan Edwards will not be staying with the club. Listen, it's a shame, but I guess it comes down to money. When you saw Cole Donaldson on the bench yesterday, Lewis Nielsen's not far away, as kind of John spoke about as well. You got Tom on his way back as well. You've got 3 centre halves, so you feel sorry for Ryan Edwards because he was always a good option, and he proved when he came off the bench for that kind of last 10 minutes and stuff like that as a physical presence. He was always a good option, just an out-and-out big centre-half. But I guess John likes ball-playing centre-halves, as we've seen in Connor Allen and Liam Henderson, and have done really well there.
He does, John, but I think the biggest thing that you've said there is obviously the number of centre-halves that we've got.
And you forget Lisa can go in at centre-half as well.
Lisa can play there. Let's not forget Keelan Adams has played at centre half as well. Should he ever need to? Don't think he'll have to. But listen, we're more than covered there. So it is a shame because I like you. I really liked what I saw when he came on for the minutes that he's had. But there is absolutely 0 point having players just for the sake of players, because all that's going to happen is we're going to end up having about 10 or more players sitting in the stand with their tracksuits on,
Yeah.
especially when everyone's fit. Now, granted, you can't second guess an injury because, as we've noticed, you can get an injury at any point. But yeah, from a centre back half percentage perspective, we are more than covered.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And our player away, Trey Samuel Ogunsui, away back to Sunderland, away back to his parent club. Whether he's been recalled or we've just went, you know what, let's just shake our hands and say it's not worked out. I don't know what the real story is there, but it didn't really work out for Trey at us.
No, no, it's not. I I've obviously, well, we've both been a little bit vocal about him. It never ever looked like he was 100% in the loan deal. Now that's maybe a disservice to him. Maybe he was, but it just never ever looked and felt like
Mm.
we had 100% of Tree. It's maybe just his manner because he's very lackadaisical. Sorry, not lackadaisical. He's very. Is it maybe it is lackadaisical? He's
Yeah.
just a little bit maybe too casual for
I remember
the fans.
Paul. I think it was against when he came on. Was it against Dundee or something? Man, I can't remember. But I've never seen Paul Smith as angry, just shouting at a
No, that
player.
was I'm sure that was that not the
Was that
Motherwell
Motherwell? Was it Motherwell?
evening
Yeah.
game? You're right. I thought Paul was going to absolutely do him in when he came off, but I think and then he's not really had like a lot of chances to score, but
Yeah.
I think back to that Celtic midweek game, he had an absolute amazing opportunity from the 6 yard line, and he fluffed it. And you just think maybe that's the turning point. If he'd scored there, might have given a bit more confidence, but he just never ever came across as someone who was that interested. But listen, I don't want to do him a disservice because he was
Yeah.
maybe a hard
Maybe,
worker and he
maybe
just
like
didn't
our
see it.
system, maybe just because you certainly saw the YouTube highlights when he came to the club and you thought, oh, we've got a player here.
Aye.
Certainly, Sunderland supporters talked him up really big as well. But maybe our system just doesn't suit him. You know, he
Maybe not.
strikes me as being a player that plays off the shoulder, and we're not a team that play kind of that way, really, in
Yeah.
terms of getting the ball in behind and stuff. So, you know, good luck to Trey in the rest of his career, you know, and, you know, thanks for your time at the club. Really appreciate it.
Mm.
Before we get into talking about Aberdeen, let's say thank you very much to our sponsors. Behind the Wall, of course, Falkirk Daft Venom is still on sale there. There was issues with the straws, which was rectified by Ross on a heavy-handed message to Mr. Flynn at Behind the Wall saying, there's no Falkirk Daft labels on the straws, Brian. Brian sorted it out straight
To
away.
be fair, he did sort out, and it wasn't my complaint really. I was passing the complaint on from someone, and just yeah, I think they'd bought two or three on a particular evening, and they were like, "Oh, I've not got my straw," and so yeah, that was why I thought, "Oh, well, I'll say to the gaffer." And as you said, within a few hours, it was rectified.
Sorted there, yeah. The bus to St Mirren tickets are away on sale now. £12.50 return, and obviously you get your pint when you get back to the pub. Some spaces limited to that, and of course the bus down to the Celtic home game. It's £5 return. That's next Wednesday night, isn't it? We play Celtic, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
the
So
14th it
yeah,
is. Yeah.
so that's on sale now as well. So book your place in that if you fancy a couple of midweek drinks and then get back to the pub, and the same offer applies for that. Burns Night by Trice Theatres on there on the 23rd of January, and Fleeting Rumours tribute to Fleetwood Mac is on there on the 31st of January. Something to look forward to. You know, people going through the dry January. There's your goal. Just get to the 31st of January and you can have it off then and go and see Fleetwood Mac's tribute, Fleeting Rumours. Check out all the events at behindthewall.co.uk. Right, let's talk about Aberdeen now and the big game yesterday. And let's do it in the company of a man that's been on the podcast before. It's Richard Lindsay.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good,
Good.
mate. You?
Very
Good.
well, mate. Very well after yesterday.
Yes, we've all got a smile on our face today for good reasons as well. Richard, we might as well kick the arse out of this question. Did you get any Falkirk merch or any Falkirk-based Christmas presents?
I did. I got a couple of books. A couple of history books. So a lot of reading. Yeah, I think that's about it. To be honest, yeah.
Is it the Michael White specials? Is
It
it?
is a Michael White special, yeah. So It might take me until 2027 to read that.
I have read, well, I read the first two volumes back to back, but I've not had the most recent volumes, which is probably obviously more of our era
Yeah.
within that as well. So I'll need to actually see if Michael's got any left.
Some of it will work by him. Fair play. Fair
It's
play to Michael.
unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Hats off. If you don't know who Michael is, he's a club historian and he is just meticulous with detail. If you read some of the stuff, it's just brilliant. Really, really, really good reading. And good,
Don't-
good
don't-
the rest of the club.
Don't take till 2027 though, because that'll be the 151st anniversary.
Oh, yeah. Don't get started on that. I said we won't
Don't
get
leave the chat.
we won't get started on that. Jesus God, we'll
Just there.
yeah, Michael. I don't know if Michael listens to the podcast, but you'll be jumping all over that as well. But we'll wait and see what happens with that. It's a big debate to be had. Anyway, we won't get into it because we'll be here all night about it. Richard, let's talk about Aberdeen with you. Thanks for coming back on.
No worries.
Obviously, lost to Dundee. 3 changes to that side. Leon McCann, Dylan Tate, and Barney Stewart all coming back. The returning Barney Stewart straight back into the starting 11. Keelan Adams, Ethan Williams, and Brian Graham all dropping out. What was your reaction to the Barney Stewart going straight in, Richard?
I was happy to see it. You know, he's a bit different for Brian and obviously Trey at the time. So I was quite happy. Obviously, he's been playing games as well, you know, so he's fit, he's match fit. So I thought that was a good option. And obviously, the game, we'll talk about it, but I don't feel like their two centre halves could deal with him at times. So no, I was delighted with that. The other changes, yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a bit weird to drop Dylan last week. I don't know if there was anything there about fitness or that, but I was surprised, especially when last week I thought we'd want to keep the ball a bit better than we did. But I was delighted to see him come back in, and obviously Leon's been unbelievable this year, so really happy with that. I was a wee bit surprised that Finn stayed in, to be honest, after last week, but no, he played really well as well.
I was about to ask that actually to Ross. You were a big advocate of Finn starting after his performance against Kilmarnock. Did you think he had done enough to deserve a start on Saturday?
So I think when we reviewed the Kelly game, we obviously talked about Finn having made a really good impact.
Yeah.
Because he was playing in the 10 or a bit further forward. He didn't obviously play that position against Dundee, and I think we'd all quite happily agree he didn't have a fantastic game against Dundee. However, he obviously did very well against Kelly a bit further forward, and he played yesterday a bit further forward, and I thought he had a far better game than he had obviously done against Dundee. I wasn't massively shocked that he was eventually subbed because he's obviously not played a lot of football. But we had played a lot of good stuff with Finn there in the first half. I know we're probably jumping a wee bit. We probably had a better first half than we did in the second half, but a lot of the good stuff Finn was included. So no, I was really chuffed for him, and I think the more minutes he gets, the more we'll see him be even more effective.
Sorry, John. When I looked at the team, I thought maybe we thought that Carlson was going to play left side, and I didn't know if maybe he was thinking about playing Finn on the right hand side, and maybe to give Lissa a bit of a help going back the way, because the Carlson boy is obviously a good player. You don't sign for Bologna for £7 million if you're a poor player. So I thought we were maybe going to try something fancy there and try and protect that right hand side, but he played in the 10 and that worked out perfect.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Keelan Adams, that's the first time he's really been dropped, I think, from onto the bench, really, which is quite surprising. But again, looking at the defence, I think John McGlynn maybe said it after the match. I kind of heard that he said that's the defence going forward. But Leon McCann, I think we all said you felt sorry for Leon after having such a great game against Kilmarnock being dropped for Dundee. And then Leon's back into the side, and just, you know, how good was, I mean, again, he was fantastic. He was in contention for man of the match yesterday, Leon, so it was great to see him coming back into the side. Ethan Williams, I thought, was a bit of a surprise. Again, as I'm a big advocate of Ethan Williams, he should be playing, if he's available, he should be playing. But yeah,
I think see with Keelan, he didn't look fit last week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I thought second half he came onto a game, but first half it just didn't look up to match fitness, which you'd expect having been out for a few weeks. So I can understand that one. Plus, you have to get Philip Lissa in the team no matter what. So if that meant like moving him over and bringing in Leon, then absolutely.
Yeah,
and
from the chat after the game, John, I think we weren't obviously at the press conference after the game, but we've spoken to a couple of people that were, and yeah, so John has said that he feels like the defence that was there yesterday is his current anyway settled defence. So I fully expect that defence will remain. He maybe feels a bit. I don't know. Listen, there could be reasons why Leon was dropped for one game, and then obviously Keelan's came back in. He was very adamant. Remember the week before we played Dundee that Keelan would come straight back in. I think he said it on a either Falkirk TV or somewhere else. But a combination of Keelan maybe not being 100% fit, and then also the form of Leon and Philippe. It's a tough one. It's a really horrible situation for John, I suppose. Well, it's a good situation, but a tough one as well because he's got all these players that could be playing. But Leon, yesterday, I was so glad he was back in. So glad, and I think I even said at one point, much to my daughter's face yesterday when I said if I was female, I would have Leon's next baby, and she wasn't very happy when
I
I
think
when I
it's
said
probably a cue, mate, to be honest.
absolutely.
absolutely. You know, it was great as well to see Cole Donaldson back on the bench yesterday after a long-term injury. He got a great ovation when he went away to gate 20 and the Ken McAllister stand as well when he went off the bench. So it was good to see Cole back on the bench. Interestingly, though, I've not seen Sam Hart's not made the bench the last two matches, so that's been very quiet in terms of what's happened there. I mean, it's maybe not there's just not space on the bench for him, but I'm very
I think
surprised.
we've got defenders coming out our ears, John, haven't we? So
Yeah.
it's like, where
Yeah,
does he
I
go?
guess that might be the case. I did see him post something on Instagram about how 2025 was a bit of a kind of topsy-turvy year, and it's kind of good to talk. So I hope he's all right. I
Oh,
hope
yeah, I
he's
hope
all
so.
right. So fingers crossed for Sam Hart. But yeah, I mean, great to see Cole back on the bench. And as you say, Richard, we have got defenders coming out of our ears now. It's with Nielsen's return imminent as well. I mean, we started off the game absolutely flying. That first 20 minutes, that first 5 minutes, you could even say, we were absolutely out the traps. I think, after the Dundee performance, it's just what we needed.
Yeah. I totally agree. We needed a big performance. I think the fans probably felt we needed a big performance as well. Because let's face it, it's not really just the Dundee game we've got in our mind. We've got the last few weeks where we've not really scored goals. We've not looked like scoring goals. So, like what a difference that was to come flying out of the traps. And as you said, I think John McGlynn might have said it, or Paul Smith, sorry, after the game, we could have literally been two or three up at half time, and that wouldn't have been a untrue reflection of the game.
Right,
I
I
mean,
think, sorry, John. I think like in the first 10 seconds, I think Aberdeen got a corner, and
yeah.
I was like, oh, here we go. Aberdeen are going to turn up here. But as soon as we cleared the ball, there was only one team in that first half. You know what I mean? We were brilliant, and like you say, we should have scored a couple of goals.
No, I mean there's so many chances. Calvin Miller certainly in that first kind of spell of the match was all over it. Free kicks, crosses, hitting shots, and I did think Dylan Tate was excellent, just driving the team forward and just doing. Richard, I know Brad Spencer's your boyfriend, but I did think Brad was a bit off it yesterday, and Dylan was taking the kind of mantle.
Well, I'll take Brad being off it if we win 1-0 every week. To be honest, I thought that Brad, Dillon, and Finn in the midfield completely ran over the top of them.
Yeah.
They looked so disjointed. I know they played Armstrong and Aushish and Carlson in the 10 just ahead, but they were so far apart. Like the gaps were massive, and we were just picking them off at will, winning every second ball. So no, it wasn't one of Brad's best games, but it was still a 9.8 out of 10 for me.
Always is, Richard. Always is to you. But no, I mean, we ran over the top of them in that first half, Aberdeen, and they were lucky. The only chance really of note came at the end of the half when Kevin Nisbet went through and just blazed it over the bar. That was the only kind of chance of note. But I think it was 11 shots in that first half that we had on goal. I think what you can tell is though that due to the lack of goals that we have had, it's just stuff isn't just falling for us, or we're just not taking the right option sometimes. Because we haven't scored that many goals. But as you say, with Barney back in the side, Ross, you've kind of remarked that he looked like a different player, and he looked like that loan out at Dunfermline has done him the world of good because he seemed a
Yeah.
real focal point.
No, it has. Listen, I said this on social media, and I'll happily say it on here as well. I was obviously a very loud voice where I wasn't keen on him, and I don't mean as in not keen on Barney going out on loan because I was very much up for that. But I think I wasn't a huge fan of him going to Dunfermline.
Yes, Ross,
However,
we had some very
No way,
heated
Ross. Really?
we had
yeah,
some very heated arguments about this, Ross, both in the pub and on this podcast. So is this you admitting you might have been wrong?
well,
Uh,
listen, I'm not saying I'm wrong, but I think I'm pleased, very, very, very pleased for Barney and for us because he has come back. No, listen, he has come back an improved player, and I bumped into Barney's dad, Pete, yesterday as well, and we had a bit of a conversation with, saying exactly the same. For me, there was two big things I noticed with Barney yesterday that I think he was different to how he was previously with us. One, I thought his hold-up play was really, really good. He was so strong. Whether it was on his chest, his head, his feet, he was controlling that ball. He was playing it off to the runners. So that was brilliant. And then the second thing was, and I noticed this more when Leon was looking for him, so Leon would look up, and you can just see Barney sort of arching his body like a really experienced striker would, just to try. He's almost telling Leon or whoever's making the pass, put it in the channel, put it here, put it there. So I thought he did that really, really well yesterday, and I can't remember who said it yesterday as well, but I totally agree with him. The other thing is he wasn't. I think Barney of old would maybe just he would knock his pan in, just chasing absolutely everything, whereas he looked far more assured of to what his role is, when he should make a run, when he shouldn't make a run, where to be in the box, that type of thing. So I'm so chuffed for him, and I thought he came on. Like I know he didn't score, and he mentioned in the lounge after the game that he wanted a goal, but listen, it'll come because he's going to get good service again. Like he got at Dunfermline, he got good service there too. He scored a really good number of goals at Dunfermline, and I think we've won a watch to the fact that he's so high in confidence coming back.
I think you can see he's matured as a footballer. Like you say, his hold up play. No offense to him, but it wasn't that when he left us.
No,
It was far far improved. Also, John, on the chances we created, like it's an old cliche, but I'd be much more worried if we weren't creating
yeah,
any
well,
chances.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you, do you know what I mean?
absolutely.
It's crazy the amount of times we get down the side of the box and we don't like it's the final
It's
pass
the
or the
final
final
ball,
movement.
it's the final pass, it's the
Somebody
shot, yeah.
somebody's going to take a doing. By the way, I
yeah.
really believe that a team will take a doing if we play at our maximum because the amount of chances we create is
Yeah, I
unbelievable.
mean, I'd like to say 11 shots. Aberdeen didn't have, like, in the whole match, Aberdeen did not have a shot in on goal. And I think that's a massive testament to both the midfield and what they were doing, and especially the two centre halves and the fullbacks.
Yeah.
Like, Henderson and Allen were extraordinary yesterday, absolutely brilliant together. What a partnership. Young Connor Allen coming at that side as a midfielder, being put in as a utility centre half, and he is just thriving in that role. And he's been, Henderson's obviously taking his hand through it as well, which is great to see. The other thing at the end of when you're talking about Barney, and I talked about in a couple of podcasts ago, is the Brian Graham learning tree, and you can see Brian Graham giving a big hug at the end, and I think that partnership and that kind of mentor thing that Brian will bring Barney on another stage to what he was doing at Dunfermline. Because I'm sure, he was playing with Chris Kane at Dunfermline as well. Zach Rudden would have been thereabouts as well. So he would have got a bit out of those guys as well. But I do think Brian Graham can take him to that next level as well.
I think as well, talking about Connor Allen, I think the biggest compliment I can pay him yesterday is that you didn't really see him because he just did everything
Yeah.
perfectly, and it was just you just give the ball, give the ball. Simply everything was perfect, and it was fantastic. And like you were talking about the fullbacks, they obviously put a lot of emphasis in their wingers, Keskinen, and they played that Bilalovic. We did not apart Keskinen once or twice, but he ran out of ideas. But that Bilalovic, you didn't see him at all in the game because
Five
Leon.
passes. He had made 5 passes all match.
Leon
I
was
saw
so
that
Leon
stat today.
was so good up against them, and it's the case again where the other team completely underestimates Leon. They think he's not good in the air. They think he's not fast. They think he's not strong. And Leon is all of those things.
He showed all of that yesterday. His pace was up and down there. There was a moment in the first half when he absolutely destroyed a boy with a tackle. Brilliant. It was like Sean Mackey-esque. No, maybe not so much with the sliding side of it, but he dug in, he used his pace to get back, and so again, some of his crossing is just absolutely superb.
No, absolutely. Let's talk about our other fullback and his goal. Because in that first half, I think we all agreed that we should have been marching it in that into half time well in the lead, and we were dominant. And we came out the second half and did the exact same as well. Usually expect them. Obviously, Aberdeen made the change at half time as well, and you think that would kick them on. It didn't. It didn't. We just kept on the throttle, and we got our goal. Leon McCann was fouled. I think it was a young lad from Aberdeen fouled him. It was a foul. There was a couple of question marks over it, but it was a foul. It was
In this day and age, that's a foul every week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play to the ref. I actually thought he had a good game. Beaten. I know the Aberdeen fans will absolutely disagree with that.
Yeah, the Aberdeen fans were not very happy with John Beaton yesterday.
No.
He was obviously in a good mood after his side won earlier in the afternoon. But
I thought he had a few terrible decisions regarding throw-ins and things. The linesman or assistant referee, sorry, were waiting for him to make a decision, and he made some terrible ones that I remember. I think it was Barney maybe touched it onto that low bin and he sliced it out of the park. It was clearly a Falkirk ball, and he was giving Aberdeen.
The main stand lines line-up had a bit of a tough afternoon because there was so many wee, as you said, like there was a bit where Finn Yates literally just ran it out of play, and then he gave us the throw in. So it was some very questionable. But I thought Beaton did okay. But
I thought he did. I thought he did well.
In that moment though, he did well because Leon had actually overhit the cross and then he got fouled. It's not as if he was out the park because he got fouled. The foul came after the cross.
I think you could argue though that he puts it out the play because he's waiting for that contact.
He knows he's coming probably.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a foul, and they talked. I think John McGlynn had said they wanted more goals from set plays, and they got one as well. You've seen, I mean, Aberdeen's marking was absolutely dreadful. There was about 4 or 5 Falkirk players that could have headed it in, but great run from Lisa and gets his first senior goal. A great moment for him as well after putting in such a magnificent performance as well. Well deserved of the goal and a great header.
That was huge. Yeah, huge moment. At the time, I don't think I appreciated the timing of his run and everything. You know what it's like in the moment. You just it's a header, it's a goal. There we go. But when you watch it back, the timing of his run's perfect. The cross is inch perfect as well. Obviously, Aberdeen were doing the old zonal marking, and Philip just decided to stand and run into an area where they weren't even bothered about. So it was
right in the middle of the goal.
yeah. Why bother?
I think you could tell we definitely worked on that set piece though. Because. Yeah. And this is back to John's level of detail. We completely changed the way we took corners in the first half. Everybody was at the back post, ran to the front post, and that's not something we've really been doing.
It's usually the back to Henderson. The back posts are kind of standard, isn't it?
And because he knew they were zonal marking, we were doing something a bit different, which was great to see. And then, I mean, I think I could have scored that, to be honest. It's about 6 yards out.
I don't know about that, Richard. I don't know about that. But and later on in the match, let's just talk about Lisa's tackle when it was Armstrong went through and Lisa comes out from absolutely nowhere and just nicks the ball off out. It was an incredible. And further on in the match where he had that big tackle, Sean Mackey, everyone talks about the Sean Mackey tackle against Hibs. Lisa did one as well against Aberdeen. It was brilliant.
I think it was the defensive stuff that probably got him the man of the match because don't get me wrong, if he'd scored it was a wonderful goal, and I think if that's all he'd done, he probably might have still got the man of the match. But I think Leon was getting all the praise for how he had performed. But the two big moments defensively, Lissa was just all over it, and as you said, John, it's almost as good as a goal, that type of last minute tackle, especially the one that was in the 6-yard box.
No.
I thought that was the first time Stuart Armstrong actually went forward. To be honest, I was like, he was in the box that often. So, and he thought he had that. He thought he was just tapping that in, and Lissa comes from nowhere. It was a brilliant tackle. Yeah. And also the amazing the thing I love about Lissa is though, right after he scored the goal, he had a shot like a couple of minutes later. So he's still getting forward. He's on the edge of the box, and he's still so good defensively. That tackle and Keskin down the wing to put it out. I think that looked like it hurt because I think he was probably about to cramp up at that point. But he was brilliant.
A lot of players left it out there yesterday. Barney, I noticed, was cramping up as well at one point. Listen, I'm not surprised because they put in such effort as well. We've not really talked about the kind of the wingers. Kyrell, I thought again was in and about it yesterday. Some brilliant's going to come. He has some brilliant moments, Kyrell. There was that moment down just in front of the main stand on the right where he did this little beautiful flick, and if he went inside, and if he scores from that, it was like goal of the season. It was unbelievable stuff. But there's going to be something special coming from Kyrell. I've got a feeling.
I don't know if I don't know if Aberdeen have got some injuries on that list side, but to play Graham Shinney against like probably the fastest player in the league was mental. I did not understand that, and I thought Shinney did okay, but still, Kyrell, some of the things he did were great.
I thought it was very strange playing Shinney at left back.
That's what I'm saying.
Why would you not play Shinney?
Maybe they don't have another option. I don't know.
I guess so.
He had the one where he cut inside in the first half, didn't he? And it was straight at Mitov.
Yeah.
And then the wee touch around the corner, and then I think he tried to beat everybody else after that, but you're just a wee bit unlucky. I think Tate has the shot over. Just as it comes to the edge of the box. So, yeah, another chance.
There was a lot of chances. I mean, that big, we're going back to the start of the match, and that kind of big scramble where we could have been 1-0 up within 5 minutes as well. Henry Cartwright comes off the bench as well as Ethan Ross as well. Brian Graham obviously on as well. And they made a difference. The subs, again, I don't think they were great at Dundee, but I thought the subs all had their part to play in the kind of the remainder of the match as well.
I thought so, yep. If you're talking about, obviously, Ethan came on for Finn, just gave us that little bit of, what Ethan's like. He's very, very good at driving at the defence, and he did that for the 30 minutes that he was on. Alfie, I thought, had a much bigger impact this time. He was obviously screaming at Brian Graham to pass it late on, but Brian was never going to
chance Brian was ever passing that. He looked up at his Alfie, said, "Fuck that! I'm just going to just try and rattle this myself." I
was a wee bit surprised to see Ethan come on in the 10. I thought maybe Calvin would have came inside.
Yeah, that was interesting. But I think Calvin was giving their right back a torrid time, giving that boy Loban an absolute torrid time. So
was Loban still on at that time? I don't know. I don't remember if they'd replaced for Devlin.
Yeah, I don't know if he had or not, but like he was doing so well out in that left throughout the match.
Also, Cartwright is brilliant at reading. See that ball goes in field for the one where he hit the post. He reads that so early, and he's on top of the boy so early. The boy's not got a second to set himself, and it was a great strike. Actually, I was right behind it, so actually I wasn't sure if Mitov got a wee tiny fingertip to it, but you can't really see it in the highlights, so I can't really remember. But I thought he did at the time, but it was so lucky.
I thought it was going to be an absolute copycat of the Rangers goal, though, the way he played it and the way he ran into that midfield. I thought just hit it at the top bin again, but he's just went for the placement that time, and he was unlucky with the chance. But yeah, I mean, and then we had Brian's chance as well. I think that as well, it came down to the fact that Brian had an earlier chance when Alfie probably should have hit it, and he kind of laid it off to Brian, and Brian's like, what you doing, kind of thing.
Brian tried to take the paint off it. I don't know. He's just absolutely smashed it as hard as he could. I know, but fair enough.
I know, but listen, everyone had their part to play yesterday, and we now own Aberdeen. So 2 wins out of 2 against the Dons, and as a result of that, another manager gone, Jimmy Thielen.
The Falkirk curse.
The Falkirk curse. You can see in my background before, so that's Russell Martin, Jimmy Thielen, and now will it be Wilfred Nancy next? That is the question, because
I think he might be gone by the time.
I'll be honest with you. I think, which is shit for us, because that probably means they'll bring Martin O'Neill back against
that means
us.
We're going to, if he does go, we're going to have played Celtic under Martin O'Neill. They're going to have had a full new manager, and then we're going to have played them under Martin O'Neill.
It's mental, absolutely mental. I mean, it's been a mad. Like when you look at Scottish football this season and go how mental it is. The fact that Rangers are now back in championship contention, really. They're still 6 points away from Hearts, but then you go, Jesus Christ, who would have thought that when he visited the Falkirk Stadium and Russell Martin was shepherded out by the police?
I think it has been a mental season. I think also, I think we've, everybody said, we've added to that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not just a club coming up just to fight at the bottom. We've definitely shown that we're well worthy of being there.
Yeah, and then you got Motherwell as well, obviously,
Motherwell been fantastic, yeah. But this was a question, John, that was kicking around the pub, and I know you're Mr. Negative, but I want to ask you it. So,
I know you're going to ask.
So the chat yesterday was that win enough to keep us up?
I don't. I think it's enough to get us. I think when you look at what Livingston have got to do, we're 18 points ahead of Livingston now. They've got to win 6 matches, like more than us. You know what I mean? And I think when you look at that and you look at that kind of stat and go, I don't think that. I don't think at this point that's doable. When you look at previous stats and statisticians, so. I do think, like Kilmarnock, it depends on who they get in as manager, depends what they do in the window. Ask me again at the end of January, but I think, it's
I just
hard.
think we need to be looking up now. We're clearly good enough to be here, and we showed yesterday
Aye.
that against a team who's just spent £3 million in the last 18 months that we should be here. So I feel like we should be
100%.
looking
I
up.
think that goes without saying that we've
Please
proved.
don't bookmark that.
Yeah, I know. I don't clip that, but it does prove, like, to the detractors. I saw there was an Aberdeen fan who'd posted, and I think everyone's jumped on this tweet now, who posted when, like, the team against Dundee United saying that team will never do anything in this league or something.
Championship bound.
Yeah, some to those words, and then you go, well, look at us now. We own you. So that's.
See, I was looking at the table last night. I don't know what order the top 6 will obviously be in, but that for me is the top 6 now.
With us, isn't it?
We'll be finishing in the top 6.
Us in fifth, John.
Cross, fuck's sake.
Listen,
Right.
there's not a lot in it. There is not a lot in it.
Listen, there's not a lot in it, but Aberdeen will not be that. But like the squad of players they've got at their disposal is mental.
But we said that in August when we beat them, and that. I think I was looking at the fixtures as well. We've obviously got far more home games left than we do away, which is good. We have a game in hand. Listen, I'm not saying we're going to go and finish 3rd or 4th, but I'm saying I think we will drive on and be that probably the 6th position. But I think that's where we will finish.
I'll still be very happy with 10th. I will still be delighted with 10th. Absolutely.
Even now, after the start we've made, though.
Yes, of course. Of course,
I think expectations have changed. They
No,
have
but
to
you
change.
see, now this is the problem. Your expectations can't change because that's when everyone starts getting, if there's a couple of bad results, that's when people start murmuring and rustling their sweetie papers in the main stand and all that sort of stuff.
We've had a
Everyone
couple
has
of bad
got,
results and
everyone
it's
has
not
got to
changed.
have in their head 10th. Everyone, right? And
I think, John, I think we've had this discussion before, but we've said this team is built differently. We have had bad results, and we haven't just folded the
no,
next week.
we've not.
So
But it could happen. It could happen.
it could happen. Of course, anything could happen.
Yeah,
The way
but-
the top of the league's going, we could catch Hearts.
I mean, you've got the two teams below us just now are the two city teams. So you've got Aberdeen, Dundee United, right? Okay. Then you start looking, right, well, so Dundee have started putting together a run now as well. That's 3 wins out of 3 for Dundee. Kilmarnock and Livingston look dreadful at the moment, and let's see what happens. For Livingston and what they go and spend, because they've obviously started moving in the transfer window, and who goes in at Kilmarnock. That'll be very interesting, because I do think we're better football inside than both of those as well. But there are 2 big city teams, 3 big city teams below us as well who have money to spend. So I think come the end of January you can start thinking. But I always think let's just 10th. See when expectations getting high, and then everyone starts going, "Oh well, we're not in the top 6," and then people start getting angsty.
Listen, you and I have talked about this before. For weeks and months, I've said the same. 10th is what we hope, like what we
Absolutely.
should be trying to get out of, right?
Yeah.
However, I think there comes a point in the season, and we're probably getting close to that point where, as Richard said, we need to not be oblivious to the fact that we are closer to the teams above us than we are to the teams below us, as in Kilmarnock and Livingston, more so than anyone else. But I think we need to just, as you said, John, we've said it before, one game at a time, but we are building momentum. We have had the odd knock, but it doesn't seem to knock us really too badly.
I think we're also a very appealing team to join for a lot of good footballers now. If we were fighting down the bottom there and we got 10th, that would be amazing. But then players who will take us to the next level might say, well, maybe not. Whereas they can see what John's doing, John and Paul are doing. You can see what we're trying to do. We play good football, and if we got that top 6, the options for next year to go and like stay there or even do even better because why shouldn't we do better? You know, we're as big as some of the other clubs there.
100%.
So I just feel like, yeah, stay up, absolutely, that is the priority. But also, we should just dream a wee bit.
Look at Motherwell. Motherwell are a prime example of what we could achieve. St Mirren previously as well, maybe not so much this season, but previously in the league. Anyway,
But the thing is, Ross, they're established.
They are, of course, they are.
Yep. Premier League club, and
that's what we need to
exactly. So
push ourselves to.
Then 8th, then 6th, and then
life's
4th,
too short
and then
for
winning
that.
the league.
6,
for
5,
God's
4,
sake,
3.
God,
John, it could be worse. We could be 6th in League One.
Well,
Absolutely.
like you look back, however many years ago, someone put up a graphic that this is where we were 6th in League One this time about fucking 5 years ago or whatever it was. And it's just like, I mean, it's just mental. It's just mental. But what a great place to be. And as I say, 10th, be happy with 10th, boys. Don't go start getting excited and getting on people's backs if we're not finishing 10th. That's all I say.
You're not booked your European trip yet?
Oh, for God's sakes, right. Okay, let's hear what it's Paul that turned up yesterday, not John. So let's hear what Paul had to say after the match.
Paul, a really impressive performance today, and what a way to kick off 2026.
Yeah, fantastic 3 points. Felt the performance, as you say, was really up there. You know, the Kilmarnock game at home and probably Dundee United away, that was as good as the 2 games there, and thoroughly deserved to win the game. Disappointed coming in at half time because I thought we were in complete control first half, and as I say, the only disappointment was not coming in 1 or 2 up at half time.
A few changes to the team sheet today. Obviously, Barney Stewart starting after coming back from loan. How do you think he did?
I thought the whole team did really well, but yeah, Barney gives us something a wee bit different up top. He's obviously got the pace to run in behind, and I think the Aberdeen back two found him a real handful. So delighted that he's back. We've been icing on the cake if he's got a wee goal, but really pleased with his performance.
The goal did come from a more unlikely source, Philip Lissa getting the goal. He's been incredible all season, and probably it's one that's been coming.
Yeah, we were speaking to the players last week. We were a wee bit disappointed with not been scoring more goals off set plays, so we certainly worked on them this week, but I wouldn't say that was one of the ones we worked on. But a great header from Phil. Delighted for him to go and get a goal there. I thought his overall performance was fantastic, and he had a great challenge in the box. I'm not sure if it was Armstrong 6 yards out, but he's got a cross in the second half and managed to stop them possibly scoring from there.
You mentioned Stuart Armstrong there, just a number of some big players that Aberdeen have that can cause a threat. Jesper Karlsson, Topi Keskinen, I think the team did really well to nullify them today.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I thought the performance first half was right up there, and Aberdeen have got players that can hurt you, and we limited them to very few chances. I think they had 7 shots. I don't think they had 1 shot on target. They possibly hit the post there at the end, but no, really limited them to very few chances. And on the flip side there, at the end of the game, Brian Graham might have got a second goal for us, and we hit the post with Henry Cartwright's shot as well. So it's just, as I say, would have been even more pleasing to go and get that second goal and make the last 5 minutes just that wee bit easier.
It did feel like a 2-0 game. It did feel like a 2-0 game. We just didn't get it. I mean, Scott Bain, as Paul sort of said there, didn't have anything to do. I mean, apart from that Nesbitt header, which I don't know if he got a touch to it or if I just went round the post, kind of clipped it and went round the post. But yeah, Scott Bain had zero to do. Though again, we've not mentioned Scott Bain. Again, I've just talked about his distribution all day long because it's absolutely brilliant. He had 1 dodgy ball and that's been about it, but it was great.
I thought it did feel like a 2-0 game, although even at 1-0 I didn't feel overly concerned because the defence has been so good.
Yeah.
Dundee apart, so I was like, even though
5 clean sheets, is it 5 clean sheets?
5 and 8 is it? I think, or something like that. Yeah, so I thought I never felt in danger at any point, which is a strange feeling against a big team like Aberdeen.
No, absolutely. Let's see what you guys had to say about the match. Stevie Beveridge, one and only Smudger, kicks us off saying, Bairns Army, that might be the best performance of the season. Everyone was a 7 or 10 or higher. I reckon we're 8 points away from safety now. There you go. Stevie says we're 8 points away from safety. We'll go with Stevie's assessment.
Good idea. Neil Coxey says still a couple of games to get out of the way first, but the 3 home games in February are a massive opportunity to get another 9 points on the board as well.
Alan says, so much intensity in that performance, still to find her goal scoring touch, but what performance. Lisa, man of the match, but so proud of Barney. His energy will give him plenty of starts, and he was unlucky with that little flick that didn't lead to a goal. That was from Miller, wasn't it, on the left? And
Yeah,
just got
very
in front
early
of
on.
his defender, yeah.
What a second debut that would have been for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have been phenomenal. Karen Taylor, who we were just talking about earlier on, Lissa was unbelievable today. I think only one boy got past him all day. Deserved his man of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. Brendan, really solid performance and a well-deserved win. Our lack of clinical finishing continues, however, to make games way more stressful than they should be. Yes, agreed. But Aberdeen offered no real threat. No bad performances, but extra gold stars for Leon, Lisa and Alan.
David Robertson, who Bairns fans may remember from his 1F days as Savage Cabbage, he says, all-round tremendous performance. Shouts out to McCann, Tate, Allen and Lissa. Good to see Barney back, who added much-needed energy to the attack. Aberdeen were extremely poor. Tough few matches to come, and this is a valuable 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Boney Unks. Barney says Barney looked a different player. Very strong hold up and link up play. Also stretched them running in behind. Was great to see BBG give Barney the big hug at full time. At the other end, we defended for our lives with great last minute body on the line blocks. Lisa, outstanding.
And finally, this is from Diggy Manson, who says, after today, can we finally get John McAnally to admit we are safe from any kind of relegation fight? 18 ahead of Livy, 14 ahead of Kilmarnock is surely a big enough gap.
Not till we get 8 more points. Like, I'm going with Stevie's, I'm going with Smudger's maths on this one. Or we get to John McGlynn says he wants 40. We're 13 points off that now, so... but yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. I'd like to say it, but we're almost there. Falkirk Daft rated a lot of contenders in that team, but who are you giving it to, Ross?
I'm torn between Leon and Philippe, but I'm going to go Philippe. I'm going to agree with the man of the match performance.
Yeah, Richard.
I'm going to go for Brad Space. I'm only joking. I'm going for. I'm going for Phil, big Philippe Lesser. I'll go for him. He was magnificent. I think he did everything on Saturday. So yeah.
Were you surprised that Brad didn't get taken off and they took Tate off instead of Brad? I thought that was a strange
one. You can't take Brad off. I think.
All right, sorry. I was just like saying I don't think he had a great game yesterday. He was on a yellow card, and I was.
I think he got taken off at Dundee because he was on a yellow, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and the referee, he definitely wanted to send him off after he got the decision wrong. He was send him off. So I can understand why he got took off last week. Sorry, but no, you don't take Brad off.
Right, you don't.
I think the other issue with last week was, remember, the Dundee game was the 19th game, so any bookings accrued would still have counted, whereas they've all got a clean slate now. I didn't think Brad had a bad game yesterday. I saw there was a couple of people behind us who were saying, "Oh, Brad should have came off instead of Dylan." I thought Brad, like, I can't remember, Richard, who you said it was about earlier on, but I just felt he had a Connor Allen, I think you said this about, but I think sometimes when Brad's just having a Brad game, you don't really notice what he does because he does everything, like his wee passes and he links the play. I just think he did that yesterday.
I think people are saying he had a poor game because there was one moment in the game where he had the opportunity to maybe pass it twice.
And he lost the ball.
He got caught in the ball, but that was once. Do you know what I mean?
I can't think of anything else, though.
No, and people saying take Brad off instead of Tate, they're completely different footballers.
Yeah.
Like they work together. I don't think Tate can play in Brad's role.
It's okay, Brad. What's this, Richard? Didn't he get? I know you're getting a bit angsty there. Okay, it's all right. It's okay. It was just an opinion.
I'm just confirming the FOTMOB 7.8 that they gave him. So there we go.
So Philippe.
Aye.
Philippe for rated, yeah.
I think so. I think Leon was great as well, but I just think Philippe was goal just gives him that nod and first senior goal in football. A Dafty, I honestly I can't think of any Dafty, but I'm willing for options. Have you got any Dafty nominations?
I've got one.
Go on, Richard.
This week it goes to Sheepy. Enjoy your weekend, Sheepy.
There you go. Colin Finlayson, he's been on this. I was like, I don't know, for some reason I know a hell of a lot of Aberdeen supporters. Everyone I know, all the football teams, I know more Aberdeen supporters than any other team, so I was just like tagging them all in an Instagram post saying we own you now.
On the other hand, if he has any spare Scotland tickets for the summer, then he's my Falkirk Daft rated.
Right, okay. I'm sure Sheepy won't be listening to this, but someone can pass it on to him. Colin Finlayson, you are the Falkirk Dafty for no other reason than you're an Aberdeen supporter. Fabulous. He was in hospitality yesterday as well, so that would have made it even more sweeter. Right, okay. That is it for Falkirk Daft rated Falkirk Dafty. But before we go and before we let you go, Richard, let's do Falkirk Daft versus. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But don't worry, you're not up against me this week. I'm doing the questions.
Oh God, that's not right.
So you have to go up against Ross.
I'm gonna have to channel my inner Lewis Connolly here, which.
That's never a good thing to channel. Right, but I'm going to have to. I'll have to check the records and see who's lost more games, me or you, Ross. We're going to have to go back and check that. I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty much even Stevens.
It could be. We've won a lot though. We do.
We tend to do.
I wouldn't worry about it this week.
We tend to do okay. Right, okay.
It's just a quash a rumour though, like in case someone does it. We don't share with you. Like, I think you and I, we want each other sometimes to lose.
Of course we do.
Don't share, we don't share the questions with each other.
You just share the answers.
It's
just to quash that if there are.
Yeah, I 100% always want Ross to lose. I always want the listener to win. By the way, and shout out to everyone who got in touch with us. Josh Heggie included. We're talking about Italian players that played for Falkirk last week. Rafael De Vita, we missed him off the list last week, so thanks to everyone who got in touch about that as well. Right, okay, so I've got you 5 questions in front of me here, boys. Richard, I'll ask you for a vocal answer. Ross, write down your answer. And your first question is, Caolan McCrone is currently on loan at which side? Caolan McCrone is currently on loan at which side?
Fuck's sake. This is a complete punt.
Punt is what it's all about. Richard, you got an idea about this?
No idea, but I'll say a team.
Right, okay, Ross, what are you writing down there? Show your answer.
I don't know if you can see it, but I've went Cowdenbeath.
Richard.
Bonnie Rigrose.
Bonnie Rigrose, both wrong. Berwick Rangers. Berwick Rangers in the Lowland League. He's on loan to there. Right, okay, now question number 2. Before Philippe Lisa, who was the last player to break their goal-scoring duck? Before Lisa, who was the last player to break their goal-scoring duck for Falkirk?
This season.
Ross is writing something down.
I am, but I'm thinking. I don't know if it's right or not.
You got an answer down?
I have, yes.
Richard?
I'm going to go Connor Allen.
Connor Allen. Ross?
I've said the same thing. Yep, Connor Allen.
One game out. It was Ethan Williams against Kilmarnock. There you go.
I was going Kyrell against Aberdeen for the longest time.
Yeah. It was Ethan Williams against Kilmarnock, who was the last player out with Lisa to break his duck. Right, okay, it's a who am I question now. You like this one. Right, okay, who am I? I started my career at Liverpool and arrived at Falkirk, making over 70 appearances before a spell down south. On returning to Scotland, I won the championship with St Mirren. Who am I? I started my career at Liverpool and arrived at Falkirk, making over 70 appearances before a spell down south. On returning to Scotland, I won the championship with St Mirren. Who am I?
It was called the Championship at this time.
Well, first, yes, it would have been the Championship at this time, yeah.
Christ.
For Liverpool.
Still playing. I'll give you a clue. Still playing.
Yeah. Oh, Christ.
Right.
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I think I know.
Write it down, Ross.
I can't remember his surname. Oh, no, I've got it.
Right, okay. Richard, no idea?
Not a clue. I'll go Rory Loy.
Rory Loy. Ross, what are you writing down?
I was thinking you were going quite far back. And
Aye, that's what I was thinking.
But I think it's someone more recent, so I've went Tony Gallagher.
That's what I was going to say, Tony Gallagher.
Wrong, both wrong.
Oh.
I didn't think he played 70 times for Liverpool.
No, he didn't play 75. He made 70 appearances for Falkirk.
Oh, sorry, my bad, sorry. Yeah. That's why I was thinking it was years ago, years and years ago.
Ryan Flynn.
Ryan Flynn.
Right.
I misunderstood the question.
Still playing
Good
for Arbroath. I think he's 37 now. Right, okay. Still
High scoring game, this one, isn't
This
it?
is going well. How many goals did Barney get for Dunfermline?
All in.
Yeah.
I have an answer.
This is all competitions.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Written some down, Ross.
Yeah.
Richard.
I think it was 8.
Ross.
I've said 8.
Both correct. There you go. It was 8 goals in 12 games for Dunfermline. There you go. Right, okay. All comes down to this question. Sudden death. What was the only Scottish League team that John McGlynn played for? What was the only Scottish League team that John McGlynn played for? And I'm talking in the league as in the top 4 leagues. Ross has written down an answer.
I am, but I don't think I'm right.
Right, you got some down. Richard?
Yeah.
East Fife.
East Fife. Ross?
It's wrong, but I've said Hearts.
It is wrong. And for the second time, it's Berwick Rangers. There you go.
Oh.
Can I say that?
There you go. Oh, that would have been a win as well for you. So basically, it's 1-1 after 5 questions, and we're going to a closest 2 question. Right, okay, Ross.
How am I still in this?
Well, you're doing well, Richard. Here we go. Right, and your question is this. How many Scotland caps did Alex Parker get? Obviously, leading appearance cap holder for Falkirk, but how many did he get overall? Not just for Falkirk as well, I'll state that.
As in, all right, so not when he was playing with Falkirk, but in total.
Just in total. In total, he obviously got, I think he got, well, I won't say the number of caps he got for Falkirk, but yeah. Write some down, Ross.
I am.
Richard, I'm going to ask you for your answer now. Ross has got something written down.
I have.
16.
16. Ross.
I've went for 13.
13 says Ross. 16 says Richard. One of you is only one out. So we're going to have a winner. If someone had went 14, it'd have been right in the middle. But well done to Richard. They went 16, and it's 15 caps that Alex Parker got for Scotland, and it's a win for Richard. There you go.
How lucky was that?
Well played, Richard. A dirty, ugly game, but
I was the Aberdeen equivalent of Falkirk versus there.
Super, brilliant. Listen, Richard, thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Falkirk Daft. Really appreciate that. And if you want to be a guest pundit, get in touch with us. We could have you on the show another time. That'd be great to hear from you. Cheers, Richard.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
And that's it for this week's Falkirk Daft. Good to talk about the Aberdeen game there with Richard. But before we go, obviously, thanks very much to the Falkirk football fans in training. The T8s back on Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30. It's a new year, which means it could be a new you. Sort out your mental health, get fit with the T8s, get down to the stadium. They've got several sections. They've got over 50 sections as well. So whatever level of football you fancy playing at, if you just fancy a kickabout, they'll have you. They'll love to have you down there. And like I say, great bunch of guys. Speak to Ian, Willie, or Dougie. The links are below, and you'll have a great time. And like I say, why not make it your New Year's resolution to get fit, help your mental health, and get down to the Falkirk Stadium and get involved with the T8s. And it's always great, isn't it? Kicking, when you're kicking about on the pitch. We might not be able to do that for longer if we have to replace the turf. So why not get down? You can have a kickabout on the pitch, and it's just brilliant playing in front of the stand and just thinking, I am a Falkirk player, and pretend to be Calvin Miller or Liam Henderson or whoever you want to be.
Brilliant.
But get down, join the T8s every Wednesday at Stadium, 8:30 to 9:30. And that is it for this week's Falkirk Daft. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks very much for listening. Of course, we're on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on our socials as well. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just type in Falkirk Daft. Follow us. Get on the Discord chat, by the way. Oh, honestly, children in there, honestly. I've had to ban people just being naughty children. I've had to kick people, ban people, just for language and calling out each other. But it's good fun. It's good fun. It's a good laugh. Get on the Discord channel if you're listening. It's like, if you don't know what Discord is, it's like 1F pretty much, but it's like an app, and you can talk to other supporters on there as well. So it's good fun on there. So get on that. The links are below, and there's merch links there as well. Did anyone get any Falkirk Daft merch for Christmas? I think we had like one order. And we really need to up our game on the merch sales. By the way, to the Falkirk Supporters Society as well. They've got their own merch now out as well, so you can get Falkirk Supporters Society merch modelled by the beautiful James Miller. I did see pictures of James modelling the Falkirk Supporters Society gear, so jump on the socials. All the links are on the Falkirk Supporters Society socials, and you can get some Falkirk Supporters Society clobber now as well, so you can be totally over it. You could have your Falkirk Daft cap, and you could have a Falkirk Supporters Society hoodie. There you go. Smashing stuff. So get on that now. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Anything to add before we go, Ross, today? Anything you would like to get off your chest? I've obviously got my car woes off my chest. Is there anything you would like to get off your chest?
No, I don't think so. It's it's a new year in it, so we've got loads to look forward to. It's been a fantastic couple of years as a Falkirk fan, and I have a funny feeling that 2026 is going to be another brilliant one for us as well.
Well, let's hope so. 10th, remember, 10th place is the key. And for those listening, Ross just made a funny face and just shook his head. Right, thank you very much. Brilliant. Listen, until next time on Falkirk Daft.
Expect unexpected, buddy. On the Bairns.
We'll be back Thursday with the St Mirren preview. Cheers.
We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft, talking about the dark blues and having a bit of a laugh. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. You can listen in the pub or you can listen in the bath. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. For everyone who's caring about being a Falkirk Bairn, we're Falkirk Daft. We are Falkirk Daft.